Yo, what up, gang? What up, y'all? Flexing early. That's crazy. What up,
Got nothing to do
y'all?
with nothing.
Nothing to do with nothing, but we here. We just doing a little quick little pod, quick little midweek pod because there's been a lot going on. Shout out to everybody who streamed and listened to the previous episode. But we here with my guy Banks. He's part of the family, and we had to get on here and chop it up because there's been things going on. So I ain't gonna waste time. But what's going on, bro? How you feeling, man?
Hey man, listen. All I do is work. My life is boring. That's all I was about to say. Like, so, give y'all a little, behind the scenes, so to speak. Pause. My brother hit me up. Now, for people that don't know me, lately in the past month or two, I go to sleep about 9, 10 o'clock. Hey man, I be work. I got work to do, and I get up about 5 ish, which is normal now. So he contacts me. This is 3 hours or so after I'm asleep. And I was like, yo, you want to record tomorrow at 5 p.m.? Now, with me, once it hit midnight, I'm thinking today is today and tomorrow is tomorrow. So I'm thinking he talking about Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm like, all right, I'm about to, I'll set it up. So he hit me up like, an hour ago of this recording. I'm just like, all right, I'm ready to go. That's all it is. That's all I can really say, man. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
You
But
feel
I
me?
digress.
You feel me? But we here, man. And I appreciate you for jumping on this because I know that I could be sometimes my communication can't be, sometimes it ain't the clearest it could be. So the fact that we was able to jump on this and get on this, that means a lot to me, bro. So I appreciate you being here. And I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to this pod because I know it's gonna be tough. I know in my heart of hearts it's gonna be tough. But we're gonna get right into it, man.
Doesn't it feel
Imp-
good to have somebody on here? Pause. Doesn't it feel good to have somebody pause again to be on here that's not cursing within a minute?
oh nah. See, not Mo catching strays. Listen,
Always.
I'm just glad that this is a pod where we can, obviously nobody hasn't cursed in the first minute, but what I'm glad about is, us two black men about to talk about Trinity because Mo doesn't like Trinity like that. That's the reason why she's not here. She's not a Trinity fan. She's anti-black woman. This is a lie, but we're gonna say it for the sake
That's
of
all
the
I'm about to
pod.
say. Hold on, you read me good for a minute because I'm like, hold on, bro. You almost worked me into a shoot. I'm like, wait, I
Nah,
remember that photo shoot last
we
year.
talk we talk about Mo. Mo's anti-black woman. That's the reason why she's not on here to talk about Trinity. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm gonna catch hell on Thursday or Wednesday or whenever we record, but I don't
Well,
care.
people don't know she got the Paula Abdul thing going on. She be lying. If
Not the
y'all know who
Paula.
Paula Abdul is, just look it up. She got the Mariah Carey thing. I don't know. Mariah Carey had. I don't know. Go
Not
ahead.
the Mariah Carey thing, but all right, but bet.
Logic.
First thing, first things first, man. Impact Wrestling this past weekend. Hold on, let me make sure I mark my Impact Wrestling this past weekend. Slammiversary. I think they were live in Canada in Windsor, Ontario, to be exact. And I'm not gonna lie, they put on a show. They did their thing. I wanted to kind of get your impressions as far as what you were gathering from Slammiversary.
We said it before we went on air. I'll say it again because I am pro TNA. I have been since 2003. I want to say that. Yeah. When I saw the NWA title when I was a jit and I
Mhm.
saw it on there, I said, all right, when Jeff Jarrett was, beginning his terrorism of, that promotion, which I mean, he built with Dixie Carter. So yeah, I can't really say too much. Uh, so before we came on air, I told Mr. Nahisi that this is the best pay-per-view since 2020 from them. Ironically, that was Slammiversary with Chris Bay and Willie Mack.
Yeah.
They came out the gate with Ultimate X. If y'all know about Ultimate X, you need to start watching wrestling. Again, y'all watch more TNA. That might be the hashtag on here. Watch more TNA wrestling. Uh, so they came out the gate with that. The tag match, the TNA knockouts. I said before we came on air as well that they might have the best women's division, if not second best to
Yes.
AEW. But it's one or 1A, 1B. I feel like TNA might be best because they put more women on weekly, even though AEW has gotten better with that.
Mm-hmm.
But they legit let the women cook a lot with TNA. to be honest, after that, I know the card, but to be honest, I didn't watch other matches just because
Mm.
I was working before this recording.
Yeah.
So when we're done, I'll watch it completely. If I'm back this week, whenever I'll probably, if I'm back again this week, I'll talk about, a quick review. But the card, great for what it is. I'm not gonna overtalk you too much, brother, because I know this is your show. Uh, I will say that Leo Rush going over Alex Shelley because I know the results. Somebody said it best in the comment section on TNA that had me rolling. Of course, it's Impact, but it's TNA. Hey,
Right.
they called it TNA. I'm gonna call it TNA. They said this dude was trolling, but it was hilarious. He said Leo Rush did with the title. Who's gonna retire again? I said, yeah,
That's a fact. I'm weak. Nah, first of all, you can never overtalk me. I'm gonna let you go on for as long as you want, as long as you need, bro. But so that's first thing. Second thing is I like like you said, Impact is so slept on. Like Impact to me has been one of the most consistent promotions in wrestling. I don't remember the time where there was a weekly TV show that was bad. I don't remember the time where there was a where a pay-per-view that was bad. Even the little sessions that they be doing in between on Impact Plus, they cook. Like they really, really cook. They do solid storytelling. They do solid matches. Everything, in my opinion, feels like it makes sense when it comes to Impact. Um, so I agree with you on that. As far as the women's division is concerned, because obviously a couple of things that kind of came out of this show was that Trinity Fatu, Trinity Star is the new Knockouts champion. So shout outs to her. And she was main
absolutely.
eventing. And I think she was either main eventing or co-main eventing or something along those lines. But to see Trinity go into a women's division like this and her to be presented and booked the way that she deserves to be, presented and booked. And on top of that, it didn't feel forced. It felt right. It didn't feel rushed. It felt right. And we talk about like this whole thing with diversity, equity, and inclusion in every industry, but particularly in wrestling, right? I feel like with Impact and their division, their women's division, it doesn't feel forced. And they have a whole bunch of characters. And it's because they got a woman of color at the top. You got Gail Kim at the top, who's been, pretty critical of Vince McMahon and just how he sees who should be the face of WWE as far as women are concerned. But like they've been putting different characters in different places. You have Giselle Shaw, obviously, trans woman who, you know, is a big player over there. You have Jordan Grace, a very big, strong, powerful woman. You have Taylor Wilde, you have Abaddon, you have a bunch of not Abaddon. You have a bunch of women over there that are just kind of doing the damn thing and they're all standing out and in their own right. And I think that's a testament to you know, to Impact and how good they are. There were some like interesting choices that they did during the show. Jake something came back in that opening Ultimate X match, which was dope, by the way, which is tough.
Yeah.
They had Jake something come back. Eric Young came back when him and Scott Demore.
And
when
you
him
know
and
what's funny? He just got let go. I want to say
right.
yesterday. He said, "Oh, bet I'm about to pull up tonight, bro." That had me rolling.
Bro,
He
he
was
was
on
really
like if
out of there.
anybody doesn't know, he been signed to the East since like 2018 when he was in the
Nah,
group.
he
Was it before
left.
that?
No,
No,
because
but
what
remember
happened?
he signed, then he left, and then he
Yes,
came back.
yes.
But they were just holding him because remember he showed up on Raw a couple times, and it was like because I remember during 2020 I was like randomly because we had time to think because we was indoors. I was like, "Yo, hey, Eric Young on WWE." I swear I kept saying that all year. I don't know if I could find that in the iCloud messages, but I kept saying that. And then yesterday it was like, "Oh, he got released," or this past week he got released. He said, "Big bet," and pulled up.
Literally pulled up with Scott Demore's tag partner, and that match was fun too. And even then, that made sense because he was going up against Bully Ray and
That's
Diener,
unfortunate.
who was like, yeah, Diener, who was like his former protege. So like stuff like that made sense. So overall, Slammiversary was just all around solid, and I feel like, and then on top of that, at the end of the show, obviously you had Alex Shelley and Alex Shelley and Nick Aldis, who I thought
Yeah,
was a great signing for Impact for the world title. Nick Aldis lost. I'm trying to get this fly away. Nick
you ain't.
Aldis lost, Josh Alexander came back, and
Yeah,
he's been on the sideline, and it's very clear that he's kind of like the face of the company, but
by default.
by default,
And
like
there's no disrespect, he could work, but it's like, okay. They
I
need
mean,
to go ahead and then I'll say what I've said
I
on
think he's
other
a sound
pods.
technical wrestler. The stuff that he does, I feel like is very true to TNA, very true to Impact. Like, and I feel like he's distinct enough to where I don't mind him being the face of the company. But I also feel like he could be better at a couple other things as far as like his presentation, as far as you know his promo skills. I just feel like he's just like a great sound technical wrestler. But onto what you were saying, because I feel like you're gonna say some heat.
They just need people that draw. Like
Mm,
obviously when they got Naomi, hey, I got this thing. Vince called you this name, I'm gonna call you this name.
mm,
So obviously they got Naomi on there and she's by far probably the biggest draw on there right now by default, just because of her name. And they
right.
got people to watch the pay-per-view just because we knew she was gonna go over, because
Mm-hmm.
come on. Um so they need draws. Like I've told before on another wrestling podcast, shouts out to my guy Smart Minds. I've said, and we agreed on it. They got the money over there. It's not like
Mm,
they don't have no money at TNA, because people go on there and they don't really go on the indies that much because they make as much as, I don't know how much they making, but they got the TV deals. You might not see them, but they got the TV deals.
mm.
The lead singer from the Smashing Pumpkins owns the team. I mean, not owns the team, but owns the promotion. I don't know how much of a
They own
percentage he
Impact.
owns. The lead singer, I forgot his name, Billy
Billy
Corgan or
Corgan.
something
I
like
thought
that.
he owned NWA.
I'm tripping. Who owned? I thought he owned Impact too. Somebody owned
Nah.
Impact that used to. I know Dr. Phil, Steve Harvey, and a couple other people had some stake in it. I don't know if they still do.
I think they have I think they have stake in Access TV, which is
Which
like
is
the channel that owns. Because I think Access bought, or I think the group is called Anthem. Anthem bought
yeah.
Impact and uh put them on Access along with New Japan. But yeah, Billy Corgan does NWA. That's a whole different.
What we need to see, because again, TNA get passed around more than the blunt. Dude, they don't die. Like we
They
thought
don't.
TNA was gonna die a couple times. They've been global. Now they Impact, and it's just like they don't die. So somebody own them, and obviously
Right.
they have money. If they brought her over there, being Naomi, who
Mm-hmm.
was making six figures in the WWE,
Absolutely.
so they got some money over there. They just need some people that could draw. Not
Right.
saying that Josh Alexander isn't a draw, but you need just people with names. You need some underground people with names. You just need names, and
Mm.
yeah, it'll bring more eyes over here.
I agree with that. And to kind of top off everything with Impact, it's just tough because like you had a lot of black champions walking out of there last night. You had
Yeah.
Kenny King, he's the new digital media champion. He beat Joe Hendry. Trinity obviously won the Knockouts title. Leo Rush won the X Division championship. I don't think I'm missing anything or anybody, but you got three black champions in that company, and they all feel like they deserve to be champion. You know what I'm saying? I was waiting for Kenny King to like stop
Yeah,
being
he
in people's
won.
factions. Like I'm tired of that. I'm tired of him being like first he was in Los Ingobernables, then he was in Honor No More. I'm like, bro, you're too talented to be like doing being everybody's sidekick. Like, bro, do your own thing. Like you're good enough. Like you got the rep, like you got the talent. So I'm just glad that he's like stepping out on his own and just being his own character. Because Kenny is tough. Kenny is nice.
Yeah,
But
yeah, hell of a work. Also, too, let me say this real quick. Hey, it's more workers in at the WWE that are black that's going over. That's a whole different conversation. Because every time I'm whispering for a reason, so y'all can hear me. 'Cause y'all always do this WWE so black shit, and guess what happens? Vince be in charge. Y'all don't want him to be in charge. Triple H was in charge. Y'all want him to be in charge, but it's the same old shit. But y'all pop when the Street Profits show up with Bobby Lashley. Why is that? And that's y'all whole thing? That's the only thing y'all want? Okay, cool.
going from that, going from that to AEW Saturday Night Collision. We have Willow Nightingale winning the Owen Owen Hart um, Memorial Cup on the women's side. We have Ricky Starks winning it on the men's side. Ricky going over CM Punk, which I was very, very surprised about. I
I
just
knew that
want to
was
know
gonna
kind of,
happen.
huh?
I knew that was gonna happen. Let me say this
Why?
too.
Talk.
I was gonna say this too. Then I'm gonna let you go back to what you're saying because again, it's your show, and I don't like talking over people. That's two black people. Yes, Ricky Starks is black. It's called Creole. If y'all never been to the South, that's what they have. People lighter than me with slick hair. That's two black people that went over more than WWE. Who's the last black person to do something in WWE? Go ahead, brother.
I mean,
I'm just saying the facts, and I'm not
right.
pro
No, no,
no
no. I'm
company.
not
Nah,
denying
it's
it.
right there.
It's right there. Nah, I'm not denying that at all. But I was watching Collision last night. Good episode. And I feel like number one, in addition to like those two happening, that FTR Bullet Club Gold match.
I was gonna tell you that, but of course, if I know I'm about to record with something, I'm not gonna say it so we can have it for the audience to hear.
Nah, you need
I
to talk
would,
your. Yeah, go ahead.
bruh. I tweet, or I don't even know if it's tweet on Threads. I said what I said, right? I said I haven't watched the full because I don't like FTR. Let the
Mm,
record reflect, and this is coming from a dude that watch like you know what I mean hip hop like wrestling,
like
like
lyrical,
Briscoe
lyrical,
Brothers,
miracle
like
wrestling.
old school Briscoe. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the ransom type wrestling. I watched
yeah.
that. All right. I don't like FTR. No disrespect to them. I just don't like them.
Mm,
The last match I said I watched was a classic with the Briscoe brothers. And then I then had to say, and then I had a moment of clarity like, damn, man, my guy Jay really passed away. But I don't want to get morbid right now. But
mm.
it hit me like, damn, that really happened this year. Been a long year. Been
Yeah,
crazy year.
yeah.
But that's the last match I watched with them. And then I watched this match and I'm like, well, damn, this was a really good match on the pay per view because Tony Khan don't know the distinct difference between TV and pay per view.
That's a fact. I think he's trying to do like the Eric Bischoff method that he was trying to do on WCW with the whole pay per view quality matches on TV. But that was too good for free TV.
That's
Honestly,
what I'm saying. And
that
then
was way too good.
I had to realize too, the TV money is better than the pay per view money. I know he got to deal with Bleacher Report, but then I had to realize, oh no, them TNT, them Turner Sports checks is way better than pay per view. So I was like, yeah, you might want to go ahead and put it on TV.
Bussing. Them checks is bussing. And now they're in talks for extension. Like for an extension with
You
AEW
got to.
after they just got their third show. So
Who got to? I mean, people go on these marks talk about ratings all the time. Dog, that don't matter. Everybody stream.
can I talk about that real quick?
Please
Cause
do. This your
oh
show.
my God. So I feel like the reason why people in wrestling, I feel like the reason why wrestling fans talk about ratings is because of them mattering during the Monday night wars. And they're not necessarily speaking from a place of knowledge on the media industry. And it gets me so tight because it's like part of the reason why ratings were everything in the late 90s was because that was your only form or your only way to consume media. It's like you had the internet wasn't really developed as it is now, obviously. Um, then on top of that, like you didn't have social media. So it's like you can only watch stuff on TV. But now you have TV. You can watch it over on TNT or TBS's website. You have streaming. You have YouTube. You have social media metrics. And all of these things play a factor into if a network is going to sign or re-sign a wrestling company to a media rights deal because all of these numbers matter, all these metrics matter, this data matters. So I feel like what ends up happening is like, oh, they only got a point 0.8 this Saturday. This show is doing horribly, right? But we don't know what the data is for on-demand streaming numbers when the episode is re-released onto the TNT or TBS website. And then every time there's a AEW show on the air, it's a trending topic, and that's a whole different set of metrics because you could have a point 0.8 in ratings, but if you know the the impressions are exceeding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 million, on a weekly episode on a weekly basis. It's like, then why are we talking about? There's so many other numbers that matter. And I feel like the reason why wrestling fans don't talk about the other numbers that matter is because y'all still stuck in the 90s and y'all are not operating from a educated viewpoint of how media works in 2023. So
Yeah.
that was
And
what I had to say. But keep going, keep going. What were you about to say?
no, I'll piggyback on what you just said. So let's split it into two different companies. WWE, without question, is the biggest wrestling company in the planet on the planet ever. One of the biggest pieces of entertainment, one of the biggest companies on the planet,
Yeah.
just overall right now. This is how they do their ratings. When this, like you said, the analytics. At this time, whoever comes out, it's the reason why Seth Rollins gonna come out for the opening. If not, he gonna come out 30 minutes afterwards. Usually nowadays it's the opening. Uh, Dominic and them, I forgot. Judgment. So when Judgment Day come
Judgment
out,
Day. Yeah.
yeah, when they come out, it's the reason why they starting to come out early now because they reading the metrics. Oh, when Judgment Day come out, oh, this number is here and it's up. Dominic getting them bulls, heel heat, bring them out right now. So at the start of the show, we can get them numbers, and then if they dissipate, which they usually do within an hour or so, because people just figured I could watch it online, I could watch the replays. My attention span is short. People got to realize that too. This is why you supposed to have clips on your YouTube with podcasts and shorts because people don't want to see the whole podcast. They just want to see that. And that's how you get your subscribers up. But I'm done cutting that shoe promo about Marks, podcaster Marks. They look at their numbers. So with Vince, if you ain't a draw, if you ain't getting them numbers, number one, can't do nothing with you.
Mm.
Now people watch Austin Theory and they like Austin Theory not over. He getting them numbers at certain times. Why is the Miz always on my TV? He still get them numbers at a certain time. It's the reason why they keep rotating the same 6, 7 people on Raw every week when they have so much talent. Now let's get to the AEW perspective. Tony Khan is more so a fan. So it's like, all right, of course we have to make money, but we just got the money to spend. All right. Y'all, I don't know how many people seen Succession, but it's the status quo that goes on with wealthy people in the world. Why people are suffering, people are getting richer. The cons are extremely well. So this is something that's profitable, but this ain't they money. Whereas Vince, this is his money, and it has been since his grandfather,
Mm.
since WWF till now.
Mm.
He just took it to extreme levels his grandfather and his father would never think of seeing.
Mm.
So with AEW, because of Tony Khan being way younger than Vince, obviously being around our age, a little bit older, he's more so a fan. That's why he
Mm.
bought ROH and all that, because these are pet projects for him. But
Mm.
at the same time, the dude is a smart businessman and he knows I have to make some money back. Because let's say his pops fronted him the money. His pops saying, hey, I need that investment back,
Mm.
that profit back. Are we turning over a profit? If not, I got to cut this, even if you a marker wrestling or not. And I mean that no disrespectful. I don't mean that in disrespectful way as it relates
Right.
to Tony. So he reads the numbers out. Well, no, he pays people to read the number. All right. He paid people to read his number.
Right.
And they like, all right, when this person comes out, it's the reason why Punk keeps coming back. He's the draw for AEW. I'm not a fan of Punk. He been snapping. See what happens when you're not mad? Now he been having good matches. Cause he just been shutting up and working like you supposed to. So now I'm like, all right, I gotta leave Punk alone. He legit only get hate with me when he just keep talking about old stuff, talk about the new stuff. They read their metrics, both companies. All these companies read their metrics. But the distinct difference is between Vince and Tony. Vince is a businessman. Tony is a businessman that just loves the business. Not saying that Vince
Mm.
doesn't love the business, but Tony Khan, you see, he really loves the business based on how he showed up for the Owen Hart Invitational.
That was a great. First of all, that's getting turned into a short. Because that was a tough.
Well, and
That was
because you
tough.
got common sense, that's why I was like, all right, cool. Let's lock up real quick. I know how to do this, brother. I'm very
Right.
good at a lot of stuff.
I feel that. Nah, that's a fact. Um, Going from that, right? So now we're talking about AEW, blood and guts. is this Thursday, this Wednesday on Dynamite. We got that 5-on-5. Pac is back. Obviously, Kota Ibushi is making his AEW debut. This is happening on free TV. Like, and they're doing it in the TD Guard. Like, this is not a college arena. This is an NBA arena.
Mhm.
Drake just did a show there. Um, but I wanted to kind of know your kind of thoughts of going into Blood and Guts this Wednesday. Like, what are you expecting? Um, just your overall kind of sense of like whatever's going on. Just talk to me.
Well, if anybody knows me, all two people that watch this podcast, I'm a Kota Ibushi mark. He is by far one of my favorite workers of all time.
Mm,
So I kind of knew, like me, shouts out to my guy, Justin, my brother. I kind of knew this was going to happen. It works well with the schedule. I mean, obviously, when he decided to come to the States and work a little bit with GCW, he probably was like, all right, let me see what's up. The money probably didn't match up to something close to what he gets in New Japan, but he was like, all right, let me just do this, warm up. It's been a year or some change since I worked.
mm-hmm,
So he was like, all right, cool, let me just come through real quick. Obviously, AEW is going to happen. I think AEW works best with what he wants to do. This match, he about to go stupid as usual.
stupid. Yeah.
This is, you know what I mean, right up his alley, so to speak. He get to team up with his man, Kenny Omega. When I say man, I don't y'all what
Yeah,
do you mean
exactly.
by that? Y'all take it for
Y'all know.
whatever it is. I ain't
Right.
against them people. That's you. Do what you want to do, like Ray J said. But I will say that this works best for him, far as what he wants to do in the States. You get to be with Kenny Omega. You get to be with the elite. You get to do whatever. Like you get to cook in AEW because again, Tony Khan don't care. This is about to
Mm-hmm,
get numbers, and he just want to see these matches, and I do as well.
mm-hmm,
And then also, Kodo has a wrestling school he opened up overseas, where he's from in Japan. So now you don't have to be on the WWE schedule. You could work once a month, probably every couple months, because Tony Khan is more lenient than that. You can
right.
still go to your school, so you get money from AEW because AEW pays well. It's the reason why everybody named Mama trying to go over there. That TV money turns a profit for them. So he probably getting something close to what he got in New Japan, if not more. And then he gets to, go over there. So that's one aspect. And then as far as the match, I love the blood and guts match. So let's see how he works though, because obviously he hasn't worked with all these people before.
Mm-hmm.
Claudio, he's worked with in ROH. I don't think he's worked with Dean Ambrose. I know it's John Moxley, but again, Vince call you Dean, I'm gonna call you Dean. I don't know if he worked with them, but I'm pretty sure he could figure it out.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very much looking forward to this blood and guts match. Probably more than the last two, just because of the presence of Coda and the presence of Pac. My bad. Um, Also, I'm very excited of the idea of Kota Ibushi in AEW. Right, like I definitely want to see how he matches up against certain guys. I think that it's going to go really, really well for him. I didn't even know that he had a wrestling school in Japan or overseas,
Mm.
I should say. So I mean the flexibility that AEW provides that makes it such an attractive destination for a lot of guys in the business, a lot of guys and girls in the business, is probably a reason as to why Kota wants to be over there. And to obviously work with the Bucks, to work with Kenny, to work with Hangman. And I just think it's gonna be a dope match. I think Kota is gonna go dumb. Coda's gonna go stupid. I think Pac is gonna go stupid. I think that this is such a great way of kind of building up this match. Because we really didn't like. I really had no idea that Coda was going to be there. I mean, obviously we heard the rumblings, but I didn't know when. And then when screen, when everything went black and then everybody was on the screen, it's like, oh snap. So
Oh
like,
yeah, I literally jumped up when I saw that.
I was like, oh, it's
Mm.
game. So I'm really really happy. I'm really really happy that Coda's getting this opportunity. That he's going to be in this match. I think it's going to be a treat. Um, it's interesting seeing the integration of New Japan guys into AEW between Coda, between Jay White, Juice Robinson, even down to AEW having access to the most valuable intellectual property that New Japan has, which is Bullet Club. Like the whole Bullet Club Gold thing, like the fact that that's been able to cross borders that way is kind of crazy to me. But
But you notice what you just said?
What?
It went back to exactly. You good at this because it went back full circle. You said access, so they got that deal. Also, it's the reason why Forbidden Door was on New Japan overseas
Mm,
because New Japan has a deal with AEW.
very
At
true.
one point, New Japan was talking to WWE about doing a deal, or more so Triple H. But again, it's he looking at it from a pro wrestling aspect, and Vince is
Right.
looking at it from a sports entertainment aspect. So that's why they're allowed to have Minoru or Suzuki on there, and the Forbidden Door overall, just
Yeah.
because of the deal that they have.
Literally all that. Like I once again, and this is part of the reason why it's so important to, in my opinion, just do good business and also to establish a good reputation. Because I feel like WWE could have gotten that New Japan deal done, but I feel like because of the things that were out of Hunter's jurisdiction in the past, I feel like there could have been an opportunity where they could have rubbed somebody in New Japan the wrong way, causing them to be more open to doing business with New Japan than business with AEW than with WWE. So I'm very much looking forward to all this on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to Blood and Guts. I'm looking forward to them being in Boston is very, very interesting because you know who is from Boston. And I don't know, maybe she may make an appearance, maybe not. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't count it out. I feel like if you're gonna do a show of this magnitude there, I feel like Blood and Guts isn't going to be the only thing that they put a focus on. So we'll see what happens. But
And those rumors been going on for months too. So if she do show up, I mean,
the,
that's cool. She gonna want the title ASAP, or she gonna start crying about it. So hey,
I listen. I don't think. I mean, I think last time we heard of her, she was injured. So I don't know if she's gonna want the title. But
hmm.
I want to see her make an appearance. I want to see her make an appearance, and championship is something to be discussed down the line. But I think we're gonna wrap this up now because it's a little over 30 minutes. It's about to be a full blown pod. But thank y'all
We
so
need
much.
to go ahead.
We gonna run this back either this week or next week. But thank y'all so much for tuning into this little quickie that we had going on here. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Be sure to rate the show 5 stars. And yeah, we'll see y'all on our new episode dropping this Friday. Thank y'all, man. Have a good one.